Kenya is struggling to satisfy the cassava demand of 60 million metric tons, thus forced to import the deficit from neighboring countries. This was revealed on Tuesday during the opening ceremony of the first ever Cassava Expo and conference happening in Nairobi Safari Park Hotel. The trade fair, themed Spearheading Innovation and Technology for Cassava Sector, will aid in creating positive public awareness of cassava's importance in food and nutrition security and socio-economic development across the country. Here is more on the same.
That is a cassava zone.
The government, through the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development, is engaging private sectors to help sensitize Kenyan farmers to grow cassava as a commercial crop. The one-time crop in Kenya is now facing extinction despite the rise in demand that Kenya has failed to satisfy in the local market, thus forced to import from neighboring countries Tanzania, Zambia, Uganda and Ethiopia. According to Dr. Peter Aluch, Programs Manager Self-Help Africa, cassava productivity in Kenya will save billions of Kenyan shillings, which are spent annually to import staple food produce and products for consumption and industrial use.
This program basically has tried to increase production yield as well, working with farmers, working with the IITA as well, and working with Calro. And that is what it has been focusing on. Also work on policy level, all what is related to the cassava.
The gap between the demand and total production. And I've just mentioned a few minutes ago that Kenya is currently at 947,000 metric tons total production annually. But look at the demand gap, because our demand is currently rising to 3 million metric tons annual. What happens to the gap between our total production and the demand? We have to, currently we are importing cassava from our neighboring countries, Uganda, Tanzania.
Cassava is the second most important root crop after the Irish potato grown throughout Kenya. It is a drought-tolerant crop, providing a basic diet for most rural households to address food insecurity and mitigate poverty. But there has been a declining trend in its production, where production per acreage has reduced to 40% countrywide, where the crop production zones has been left to few agricultural ecological zones that include Western Kenya, the coast and eastern zones of the country.
Yields are quite low in Kenya compared to some other regions. Actually, generally in Africa, we see that our yields are about 10 tons per hectare, whereas if you look at Asia, they're getting 23 tons per hectare. And the new varieties that we have can produce up to 40 tons per hectare.
The three-day conference has brought together local, regional and international cassava value chain players who are showcasing and demonstrating their latest technologies, products and services, as well as examining recent market trends and trade opportunities. It is meant to provide a learning platform for attendees to be able to commercialize the crop, far from seeing it as a traditional crop.
In Kenya in particular, the image of cassava is not very positive. People think that they cannot make business with cassava.
According to the Ministry of Agriculture, about 60% of cassava in Kenya is produced in the western region, 10% in the eastern region, and 30% in the coast. Kenya currently produces 1 million metric tons of cassava, most of which is consumed locally, but the country has the potential to produce more than 3 million metric tons annually. In 2019, Kenya developed the National Roots and Tuber Strategy to guide the development and production of the crop for industrial use in particular. It identifies tuber crops as an important source of food for humans and livestock, especially as climate change effects unfold.